Well, over the last few weeks at the summit, we've been walking through a series called It's Personal. Your middle school students on Wednesday nights and your high school students on Sunday nights, we've been walking through the story of Zacchaeus and how Jesus offers us a personal relationship with him. It's a very personal thing because he knows us by name. He knows what matters most to us. He knows our story, and he loves us no matter what. The story of Zacchaeus shows us what it looks like to have a personal relationship with Christ, a personal encounter with him, and how it changes the course of eternity. And we've been talking through this series about how, yes, it is personal for us as believers. It's personal for your students to prioritize that relationship with Christ, to know this man who intimately knows you. But also, it needs to be personal with one another. We must offer this chance of reconciliation. We must offer this chance of love and grace to those we encounter who have not experienced this encounter with Jesus. This is what we've been walking through the last few weeks, and actually sets up where we're going the next few weeks as we step into March, as we step one day closer to Easter. It's absolutely mind-blowing that Easter is just a month away from now. And as we go through the month of March, we're going into a series called Do Something. See, it can't just be something that's personal for us. Yes, it's a personal relationship, but it has to be personal with everyone else too. We've been called by God to be his hands and feet, to be his body. You can see that in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, that he has knit together Jesus through his reconciliation. He's knit together this body of believers. He's calling us to use the gifts that he has given us to confess his love, to confess his lordship, to confess who he is to the people who have not had a chance to encounter him yet. And one of the amazing things that we see in student ministry, and I've been doing this long enough to see it, these students, your kids, this generation is so aware of so many injustices in this world. They are not blind to them. They see kids who are being bullied at school. They hear stories of people being judged by the color of their skin. They see people who think differently or look differently, and they're getting ridiculed or mocked for that. They see these injustices, whether it's on the news, whether it's on TikTok or their other social media platforms. They see it, and it's right in front of them. And the crazy thing about this generation is that they want to do something. They want to do something. So often we see injustices in this world, and so quickly we just go, hey, someone's got to do something. Someone's got to do something. And we just automatically just stop and never think about, hey, we can do something. We can do something. And these students are asking questions like, where is God in this injustice? How does a loving God allow these things to happen? Why does God blindly turn away from injustice? How do Christians, how does the church not respond to this? And they ask themselves, okay, if they're not going to do it, if they're not going to do something, if he's not going to do it, can we do something? And we're going to walk through that. We're going to walk through what does it mean for God to see injustice and act in judgment against that injustice. We're going to see how God desires justice, how he desires righteousness, how he desires mercy and love, and how do we as the body of Christ respond to these things? What do we do when we see these injustices? What do we do if we don't see these injustices? How do we fix our eyes in the right place so we can see where God is calling us to be obedient? How do we respond to these? How do we cry out to God in these moments? Where is God in these moments? We're going to answer some of those tough questions that your students are asking. That's where we're going the next few weeks. This is where we've been in this idea of it's personal, and now it's time to take that personal relationship with Christ, and now it's time to do something. As parents, over the next month, you'll get opportunities from the Parent Q app, or also on our social media. Follow along with us. We're going to put out calls to you guys to challenge you as parents, to ask difficult questions to your kids, because they're asking difficult questions to us. Ask, hey, what are you all learning on Sunday nights and on Wednesday nights? What injustices do you see? Mom and Dad, what injustices do you see? Kids, you guys are going to ask them the same question. It's a great opportunity to spend time growing together. Not growing apart, not growing in your own little silos, but growing together. Because we are the body of Christ. We're the hands and feet of Jesus. And we can sit and wait for someone else to do something. But if we do that, we're disobedient to the call of God to do something ourselves. He's called us to be his primary vessel of reconciliation, of love, of mercy and grace. And he's wanting us to do that right here, right now. So join us all of March as we walk through this series called Do Something. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, and I think you will be as well.